Welcome on the Lampy YGO YouTube channel. Together I'm here with
Elias.
So Elias, what did you do today?
I played on this event Vaalmonica and I went top 32 with that.
Not bad. Explain.
Yeah, my first reasoning for playing this deck was it was released in Balance Smashes last year, and it had a lot of search cards and really cool interactions, and it just needed a little bit more of consistency. And when Legacy of Destruction came out, I just wanted to play it and test it, and on locals it went really well. And then I played some OTS championships, and it also went very well. And then I thought, okay, let's just play the Dutch Nationals, and I went 6-3 with that.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, first of all, the main deck. 3 Celatries, the main deck monster. On summon it searches any Vaalmonica card. It can't be attacked by any other monster if you control another monster. And if it's sent to the graveyard while you have 2 scales on the field, you can add it back to your hand. So it's a easy search for any Vaalmonica card, and you get the resource every turn back because you always have the 2 scales on the field. So really good normal summon. Then for the scales, I play 3 Demono and 2 Angelo. Demono and Angelo are basically the same cards. They both can reveal itself in the hand, discard 1, and then place it into the spell trap zone as pendulum monsters. And they get counters based on taking damage or healing by effect. And they have a few bonus effects, and as a monster, they even copy spell traps in your graveyard for the damage or for the heal effect. So they're easy extenders and the main engine for the counters. So you can get into your big link monsters. I play only 2 Angelo because it's a little bit. I'm sorry about that.
No problem.
Ja, was am Hals.
Yeah.
So, Angelo's a little bit worse as Demono because the damage dealing effect is often a little bit more worth it than the healing effect, so you play it free too. Then a few staples, because we have so many search cards, we can easily afford many slots to fill for one engine. Free Ash, free Troll, Triple Fenrir. Yeah, basically a lot of hand traps. Free Ash, free Troll, free Nibiru are really good in this current format, I believe. Ash hits everything a little bit, especially branded. Nibiru is a hard counter to some combo decks, and it helps a lot against the Snake Eye matchup, against the branded matchup. So it was really helpful. And Drone Lockbird was my first choice of hand trap actually, because I believed if I can just stop my opponent from playing a little bit, I can easily interrupt the end board and go second way more easier. So really helpful. And Fenrir is just Fenrir. It's a really good card.
Yeah.
Okay, now for the spells. Free Vaalmonica, I don't know how to spell that name. The Agato-Cacological Voice. On activation, it searches the monster, and if a third counter is placed on one of your scales, you can just take one monster for free from your opponent that you can attack, but you just can't link it away into the link monsters. It's a really good starting piece for your engine. You can search Celatries with that, or one of your pendulum scales to get into the actual combo with that. By the way, easy combo with the pendulum monsters and Celatries. You can activate Demono or Angelo to discard Celatries, and they get placed into the scales. And because they're in the scales, you can activate Celatries to get back the Celatries immediately. So you just go +1 with them. Yeah. Then free Celta. The main gimmick of the spell cards are you can choose one of these effects. If you have a pendulum scale, And if you don't have this pendulum scale, your opponent chooses the effect. And you either gain 500 life points and put one to the bottom and draw 2, or you just search one spell trap for 500 life points. And both effects are really, really good. And mostly, during your first turn, you want to search one of your spell traps. But it's also a really, really good card to bluff, because if you open mediocre, you can just normal Cemetery, search Celta, activate Celta without pendulum scales, and your opponent has to choose whether he gives you like a draw 2 or a spell trap. And mostly they go for the spell trap, so they know what's in your hand. So it works in both ways, and even if you have a good hand, you can just activate it and your opponent lets you draw 2 cards, you can draw into hand trap and stuff like that. So a really, really good card to bluff.
Interesting.
Then 3 Invitare. This is one of the new cards again. A quick play that either specials 1 Vaalmonica from your deck, but you're locked into Vaalmonica monster effects for the rest of the turn. Or if you already have one of your Link Monster Cemeteries on the field, you can just add one of your Pendulum Scales to your hand and put the other one onto the extra deck. This is a huge setup card for this deck and helps a lot with setting up the scales and get your engine going. You can, when you activate this card in your Solitaries, you search for Angelo, put Demono onto the extra deck, then you can set up the scales, pendulum out Demono to copy another spell trap from your graveyard, and then you have basically like everything. And it's even a quick play, so you can just play a round roll for a little bit more. That's also really, really good.
Interesting. Impressive.
Then 2 Disharmonia. Another card new from Legacy of Destruction. You can place 1 counter for free onto one of your scales, and then either take 500 damage and add 1 from the graveyard, or gain 500 and add 1 banished card from the deck to from banished pile to your hand. And either way, it always gives you 2 counters, and that's really, really nice, because you don't have to activate as many Vaalmonica cards in your first turn as before, so you can just go with normal summon Vaalmonica into Celta, into Invitare to set up the scales, and then copy this to search Disharmonia, and then with this you already have 3 counters on Demono to go into your Link Monsters.
Wow, okay.
So this helps a lot.
Attention duelists, if you didn't collect your participation prizes for the main event yet, please do so within the 15 next minutes at the prize wall. You have 15 minutes time to collect your participation prizes at the prize wall if you didn't do so yet.
Okay, then 1 Versari. Versari either excavates the top card from your deck until you hit a Vaalmonica card and add it to your hand, or you just mill 1 Vaalmonica card from the deck to the graveyard. And either way, it helps a little bit playing around certain hand traps, and if you get interrupted, you can just follow up with that one, especially the graveyard effect. You can either send Cemeteries to get it back to your hand when you have both scales, or you can just send one of your spell traps you want and add it back with Disharmonia, or copy it with the pendulum monsters or stuff like that. So it's a very nice card to have if you get interrupted, but you don't want to see it all the time. So you can just search it if you want, if you need to. And then we have 3 Pot of Prosperity to get into our engine easier, and for Go Second to dig for more Go Second cards like Fenrir or certain side deck cards I will show you later. You have just to be a little bit careful with that, because if you activate this one, you can't activate the draw effect. And if your opponent gets to choose, then he easily can just say, okay, you gain 500 life points, and then place 1 card to the bottom and draw 2. And this is not possible on the pot, so you just lose another card from your hand. So you have to be careful, but most of the time it doesn't really matter. To be fair.
Okay.
But it just came up once that I have to play around that.
I see.
And 2 talents. And 1 called by for the hand traps. There's so many hand traps floating around. Ashes, Nibiru's, Vela, everything basically, and it helps a lot to have some defensive cards in your main deck. The Cold Grave came clutch in the featured match and against Branded because I just banished their Gimmick Puppet.
Ah, I see.
And one Terraforming to search a field spell. Self-explanatory.
Yep.
And for the traps, I play both the Followed Rhythm and the Chosen Melody. The traps gimmicks is you can only activate them if you have the Scales or one Vaalmonica monster. But if you have the Link monster, you can use both of these effects. This one gains life points and pops one spell trap for free, non-targeting, or bounces one monster for 500 damage, also non-targeting. And this one prevents for 500 life point gain that your opponent can target your monster cards, so your Scales and your monsters, with card effects. Or for 500 damage you can just negate one monster on the field, non-targeting. And the non-targeting pocket is actually really strong. It outs so many more monsters and so many more follow-ups, because you can just, when the opponent has an IP Mass Screener, you can just choose a Melody. Even if they link it away for an SP Little Knight, you can just negate the SP Little Knight, or critical points like Albion, the Sanctifier Dragon in Branded. Stuff like that. That's really helpful, and this one is also very strong, and my first choice when I search the traps, because mostly I end on a monster negate nonetheless without the trap. So bouncing monsters, non-targeting plus destroying the spell traps is really good, especially against many different decks. Fun fact, against Tempire is this card really good, even in the main phase, because you can, since this effect is in sequence, you first destroy a spell trap, so you destroy the field spell, and since the field spell is not on the field anymore, you can just bounce the monster back. So
I see.
Yeah, this helps a lot that you just first destroy a spell trap and then bounce the monster.
Yes, it's really strong.
Yeah. That's it for the main deck, 41 cards, correct ratio.
Okay.
For the extra deck, 3-step of error. The gimmick of the Link monsters is you just need one effect monster for 2500 attack and for strong effects, but you need 3 counters on the respective pendulum scale. So if you want the Fiend Link monster, you need 3 on the Fiend, and if you want the Fairy one, you need 3 on the Fairy one. This one is the better one because it's the interruption of this deck. It can, in the opponent's turn, copy any normal spell trap that is banished on your graveyard. Anyway, you can copy the bounce and pop effect of the Followed Rhythm, you can negate another monster effect, or just go for the follow-up and search another spell trap. Anything you want. You can, even in your opponent's turn, just draw 2 cards and dig for more hand traps.
I see.
This is really strong. And if any card is getting destroyed by battle or card effect, you just remove 3 counters from the field, and that's not once per turn. You can do it as many times as you want. If you have 9 counters, you can just prevent 3 destruction effects. It's really strong. I can only recommend that playing multiple times, because you need it for the first turn, and you can even summon it in your opponent's turn too, and it's not once per turn, hard once per turn. It's just soft once per turn. You can only summon it once per turn. So if you have 2 of them, you can just copy 2 effects. It's really good. Duralume had 1 copy. Needs 1 effect monster, 3 counters on Fairy, and on summon it destroys as many monsters your opponent controls as you have token counters on the field. So basically it's a Raigeki on legs, and it can remove 3 counters from the field to attack 3 times with 2/5. It's the OTK card of this deck, and every time I getting into turn 3 and I have 3 counters on my Angelo, I just go for it, destroy his field and attack for game. It's so good. And in combination with certain other cards like IP Mass Screener, you can even summon it in your opponent's turn for the Raigeki effect. That's really nice to have, and I believe what other deck has a Raigeki in your opponent's turn? It's very strong, and you should always pay attention to that, especially since Angelo has in the scale the effect that you can, on attack declaration, link summon one Vaalmonica link monster. So if your opponent attacks you, you can just go into the Lume and pop this whole field and play for another turn and probably win, to be fair. Then we have SP Little Light. It's SP Little Light. Dark to steal other SP Little Lights. There isn't a lot of link action going on here, to be honest. You mostly just want to the SP Little Light and then link this away for Zebufera or Duralume for another interaction. Phoenix, Unicorn, just a few more odds. It's basically a toolbox at this point. Then I play Super Poly targets, Muddragon of the Swamp, and Garura. These are more than enough for most of the meta decks right now. You can just fusion summon Snake Eyes or branded monsters away like it's nothing. And I just really focus on the best decks of the format. So this was pretty important to me. And for the XC sponsors, Abyss Dweller and Vaguska. These ones are in this format one of the best monsters you can summon. If you have access to rank 4, just play them. Vaguska summoning Vaguska first turn was always my standard play here, and it always worked out for me. Every single deck that played against me, and I played a lot against meta, for the matchups we'll come back later, and they have really
Review 3 duelists, that's time on the round. You're now in timeout.
And for these decks it's really difficult to out this one, because most of the monster removals are monster based, so many of these decks can't even out this thing, yet alone combo off it. And Dweller is really good in the long-term grind game. I often summon it when I break the Snake Eye field, and then I just summon Dweller and then out the Flamberge so they don't get to summon, and in the opponent's turn I just activate it again so they can't use like Wanted or the original Sinful Spoils, and then I win next turn. Really good cards. And Granite.
Yeah, we saw that in the feature match, right?
Yeah. It's my man. It searches basically Nibiru. He's only there for searching Nibiru, and if he did his job, you can just link it away for Zebufera, and you have one more interaction going on. Mostly you overlay it with Cellar Trees. You just detach Cellar Trees, search Nibiru, get Nibiru, add back Cellar Trees, link it away for Zebufera. You have follow-up, you have another hand trap, and just vibe, basically. Really good card. And last but not least, Typhon for the worst times in our lives. My man, Sky Crisis got me every single time. So, side deck. You have 3 Super Poly, as mentioned. Good against Senpai, good against Snake Eyes, and going first. And good against Branded, so you don't get puppet locked. Overall, nice to have. Free Thrust to search out a lot of my side deck cards or combo pieces in your deck. Go second, it's really important to have this card, because you can just choose whether you have you want the Feather Duster or the Lightning Storm to break the board, or just search Celta or Terraforming to get into your engine. Depends on your hand. Sometimes you just have 4 non-engine and you need 1 more to get off, and then you can just search it off. 3 Droplets. Similar reasoning to Super Poly, it's just good to have to live for another turn against Snake Eyes, against Tempai, and against Branded. Especially good with Fenrir, especially good with Cellar Trees, because you can add it back. And I sided in a lot today and yesterday. And for the thrust targets, I have a lot. Dark Ruler, Dimensional Barrier, Evenly Matched, Lightning Storm, Feather Duster, and Eradicator Virus. These 3 are self-explanatory, and this one too. This is just go second board breakers you want to play to get through, even if you lose, even if you have to go second. This one is basically for Tempai and Branded alone. Sometimes you face a mirror match, sometimes you face Melodious and you really want this deck card too. It's always helpful to have this. I haven't cited it out a lot, but when it came in clutch, basically. And the Eradicate Epidemic Virus, the reasoning behind this is Duralome is a 2500 attack Dark Monster, and you can summon it off one effect monster, and you just kill certain decks by just removing all their spells, or in Labyrinth's case, all their traps. It's pretty strong to have. I wish though I have swapped it out with Full Force Virus. Full Force Virus would have been a little bit more better because you don't have always access to Duralome, and Full Force Virus tribute requirement is also fulfilled by Demono because she has 2100 death. So it would have helped with the Snake Island matchup way more than Eradicated Epidemic Virus. Probably the only side card I would swap out.
I see.
That's it for my deck. I can go briefly over the matchups right now. I played against 3 Snake Eyes. I won all of them. I played against 2 Branded and against 1 Horus, which I lost, 1 Chimera I lost, and 1 Voiceless Voice I lost. And the last one was, I can't really remember. I think it was a very fast matchup, to be fair. But I lot against meta, so I think it's meta approved. Most of the time, I even just lost to myself by opening up 3 Fenrirs or 3 Ashes. The only one I got generally just beaten up, and that's really hard, was the Chimera, and he's like top 4 right now, I believe.
Yeah.
So I've total respect for him.
Yeah.
With a little more luck, I would have gotten probably in top 16, and I'm going to test it a lot for the European Championship, even with the new support, because the new support is already out when the European Championship happens, with the new Link 2 and the new Continuous Trap.
Yep.
So I'm really looking forward to this deck.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun, and your opponent really doesn't know what you're doing. It really helps.
Yeah.
I have to say, of course.
Any shoutouts?
Shoutouts to Drachenhead, my local store, to the community, and to Dennis, Dirk und Kevin, die mir alles, which all helped me a lot with deck testing, with the accommodation. We traveled together. And I hope I see all of them on the European Championship too.
Alright, really, really cute. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
And see you on the deck profile.